Carlos, my wife Lexi, we didn't plan on being where we are now, in this point in our life being this is how we this is how we stick together and how, what gets us through. And in April of 2025, the home we were staying at was sold, and we had to move into a hotel. We understood that it wasn't her versus me, it was us versus
The
this
problem.
problem. Whatever we go through, we're gonna go through together. It's August 16th, I think. It's a Saturday, and as we're recording this, and we've been back in North Carolina for about a month and a half, and we're still looking. We're still the search is on, and you know, thankfully, I've had an interview. After a week, I wound up getting a quick interview that didn't turn out, and then now Lexi has an interview here in a couple days, doing what she did in Florida, and so hopefully that helps, and you know we'll keep looking and we'll keep trying and stuff. I think, but the biggest difference is now is that we decided that we're not gonna sit around and wait. Like we're not gonna just sit here and like twiddle our thumbs and hopefully the right job comes along. Lexi is an avid crafter. And so she reinitiated her, relaunched her Etsy shop. Um,
So would we be able to ask, for example, like on ChatGPT to say for the title for the UVDTF app, it doesn't have to be specific to anything. How would they be able to give me keywords specific for Etsy?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and which is what we can do right now. We had a website and stuff at one point, but that takes money to maintain. So she launched her Etsy shop and has products up there that we're hoping get traction and stuff. And while I'm looking, I put a lot of time into this channel, and trying to grow and trying to make it not only be entertaining but also informational and helpful to anybody else that may be in a situation. So we try, like I tell her all the time, like doing something is better than doing nothing. It's better than just sitting around and waiting. So we diligently, like I said, there are times, again, if you don't follow me, if you're not subscribed to me, and this is your first time here, then you don't know. But if you go back and look at the videos on my channels, there's times where I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning recording a video.
What it do? So I've been reading something for the last week that there's supposed to be. I mean, I hear this happens often, but I want to see it. There's supposed to be something called a planetary parade. Ooh, I almost bust my ass.
There's many times that I've done that, and or I'm editing or whatever, just trying to make something happen, and so it's a steady grind and a steady steady hustle. But again, it's all about like these days, man. With the way things are and the struggle, that it's just a matter of like you gotta find something that you're interested into, and just put one in front of the other and grow, and look, get up in the morning, like I tell all the time, get up in the morning, look for your job, spend an hour or two or whatever, which is easy because nowadays it's 2025, you can do that from the comfort of your bed with your cell phone. So we get up and we look and find stuff that we can apply to, and we apply, and then I'm like, all right, now that I spent time doing that, now it's time for me to make content. It's time for me to, try to grow this channel and stuff like that. And if the perfect job comes along in that time, then, by all means, like, I'll take the job and, so that we can get on our feet and get back on us, on our own and stuff like that. But until then, expect a lot more videos from us, sharing our struggle and how we rebuild with nothing but love and respect for each other. And that, like, literally, that's all we got. That's all we have. And and we have to keep going, because I don't know if you can see her, but we have somebody that's depending on us.
You want to play with the ball, you play with the ball. I don't want to play with the ball. You're not going to make me play with the ball. I don't want to. I don't care. I don't want to. And she means the world to both of us.
And she means the world to both of us. So
to some people, she's just a dog, and to us, she's our child, and she depends on us.
yeah.
And,
So
we're gonna keep pushing, and we're gonna keep going. So if you're watching this and you're in this place, you're going through this, you're not alone. I think the most important thing to take from this is that you have to have each other's back. The moment you turn on each other, the problem is only going to be bigger, because now you're dealing with whatever situation you're dealing with, and now you're killing each other, literally. You know what I mean? So I know that it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here again and tell you that it's easy, because it's not. It's not easy. It hasn't been a piece of cake. However, when we started going through it, we kept telling each other, like, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about us getting out of this together. Like, and that's how we've kept each other going.
No.
Basically.
I want to point out that I'm not saying that we didn't have our moments.
Oh, we've had
like
our moments.
we're not gonna tell you, like, we're not like this. We're not the Brady Bunch. Like, we're not the Huxtables. Like, we're not the Cosbys or whatever. The Huxtables. Like, we're not gonna tell you that we didn't have our moments that we were like, because I can tell you, just in the time that we were packing up the house to sell it, to move, like, there were moments where we were both like like,
I mean, it was a rough 2 weeks. I think we finished.
Yeah.
We did everything, cleaned out the entire house and all of that, and there was a lot, and it was just him and I doing it alone.
And we're older, like, we're not spring chickens
like,
anymore. Like,
it was hard. It was a lot, but again, we had a bigger picture. We were looking at what was gonna come, once we did this. So at that point, killing each other, and taking it out on each other wasn't gonna help the situation. And we understood that, and we kept reminding each other of it, not ourselves, each other of it. We reminded each other of it. I never placed blame on my husband, for not having a job after July, because I could have easily said, well, I left my job a year before that because I was chasing my dream. You know what I mean? And while when I did start my business, it flourished, within a few months that we were making good money and it was moving and blah, blah, blah. But then I could say the same thing about myself. So placing blame is not going to get you anywhere. On the contrary, say, okay, this is where we are. This is the situation. How the hell are we going to get out of this together? It's never about just you. If you love that person that you're with, it's never going to be about just you.
it's facing you, by the way.
Say something.
I'm not, because I was going to say something incriminating.